Hello, everybody. My name is Devin from Lohai, and thanks for your interest in the Lohai Vocal FX rack. So you're using Ableton and you want to spice up your live vocal setup. Well, I think this will be a good start. And in this video, I'm just going to walk you through the setup process, and it should be pretty simple. So I've got a blank audio track here. Track 2 is what I'm using to just record my voice, so you can ignore that. And we're going to drag the package, Lohai FX package, right into the track here. Now there's a little delay glitch that happens when you do that. I'm not really sure what causes that, but it doesn't really matter because now that it's here to stay. So I've got it set up in such a way that mapping everything out should be a breeze. So we're gonna look through, we're gonna walk through every macro knob, and anyone that's labeled, essentially, we're gonna map it to a corresponding button on our keyboard. Now, pretty much, we just need 8 faders. That's the core of the setup, and I think a lot of controllers have that. And they also have a few buttons, so you want to make sure that those buttons are set to toggle mode, on, off, and they can be either directly beneath the faders or wherever, as long as you know where they're at. So fader 7, this is at the beginning, so we're going to hit Apple M here and enter MIDI mapping mode. Fader 7, I've got that mapped to the 7th fader. Now that's at the beginning because the harmonies precede every effect, but logically, like in terms of thinking in a performance, I think it's, I don't know, we just ended up putting it towards the end of the sequence. So that's fader 7. Now actually that's fader 7 that's macro mapped to this right here. So that's going to turn on and off the harmonies. And then if we map this other knob for fader 7, this is what actually adjusts the volume and kind of fades them in from -6 dB to 2 dB. Okay, moving on, we see fader 1. Click that, map it. That's our volume fader. All right, moving on, fader 2. That should do everything we need for the telephone kind of filter delay. Fader 3, distortion delay. Fader 4, just kind of simple delay. And now we're going to map the freeze button. So I'll map that to this toggle switch I have here. Okay, fader 5, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fader 6, reverb freeze button, I'll map that to this one here, and that leaves fader 8 for the filter. And the only thing left that I forgot at the beginning here is the mute button, so I'll map it here, and that's just gonna take away my voice. See, check it out. Okay. So that's for when shit really hits the fan and you just need to cut everything out. But honestly, this setup has gotten us through probably 100, well, no, we haven't played 100 gigs, but maybe 50 gigs? I don't know, we've played a lot. And really, we don't experience that much feedback or any issues like that. A lot of people are like, oh no, you run your vocals through your computer, and we're like, yeah, chill, it's okay. So let's give it a test. So I'm gonna mess with the volume fader now. So here's all the way up, which is 2 dB, so that kind of gives you a little boost when you need it. And we like to just kind of hold it somewhere around here, just shy of the top. All the way down, so all the way down goes down to -35 dB. So anyways, that's that. Fader 2. Yep, all the way up. And all the way down. Fader 3. Excellent. So notice how that continues, fader 3, right? So you don't lose the effect, all right? Let's see, fader 4, check. Now on this one, I guess you do lose the effect. So hey, it's gonna mute at the bottom. But what you can do is freeze it. So that's a fun effect, and when you turn the fader all the way down, that will turn off that rack. All right, so moving on to fader 5 and 6. Now I've got fader 8 all the way down. That's why the reverb sounds so dark. With fader 8 up, we, high pass the reverb, and we can adjust the time and wet dry of the reverb. So now all the way down. Now find a nice suitable setting. Turn on the freeze, and you can use knobs as much as you want. Actually, turning up the wet dry will take away the voice, but It will not affect the freeze until you turn off the freeze switch. And once the freeze switch is off, there you go. Now the only thing left is harmonies. Hey, woohoo, yeah! So that's fader 7. And like I mentioned in the tutorial video, unfortunately, the one thing we haven't figured out how to do is be able to automate the patch changes in the harmony section. So if we open up our harmony effects rack here, you'll see there's a dry signal and a harmony, and fader 7 is simply fading in the harmonies all the way up to 2 dB down from, about -5. And at the bottom at -6, it turns off the rack, as you can see here. So that's all macro mapped. And yeah, we have a few settings. This is I Felt Something. Here's an E major chord or something like that. Octave. Yeah, you get the idea. Now, if you don't have Isotope Nectar, you could use the built-in Ableton vocoder. It won't be quite as realistic of an effect, but there are other ways you can use this one. But otherwise, we're only dealing with built-in Ableton effects, so it should load without any issues for you guys. So yeah, that's how you get everything mapped out. Now, I spent a lot of time building this, and to be honest, it's been a few months, so I don't necessarily remember the exact mappings of everything. But I think it's a pretty solid setup, and we honestly don't run into any issues. I think we've built it kind of to the brink, as far as what's realistic for a live performance. And yeah, I hope you enjoy using it. Now, I totally encourage you to open up each rack and kind of explore all the mapping. I had an attempt at kind of doing that in this video, and then I quickly realized it's been too long. I don't remember. But if you're savvy, you'll be able to figure it out, and hopefully that can inform any future iterations that you make of this, or if you're already working on your own thing, and you just want to grab one component from here, whatever you want to do. But enjoy, and thanks again. We'll hope to see you at an upcoming show. My name is Devin with Lohai.